I grew up in Southern Baptist Church. I went to church 5 times a week. It was very good for me. And I went to Oral Roberts University in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But one of the things I heard over and over and over again, why are kids listening to that music? They ought to be listening to, and then fill in the blank. In my mother's opinion, every 14-year-old boy should have been listening to Gypsy. And I said, Mom, there are only so many Barney Franks to go around. I mean, really, I just don't think that's going to work. If I have to explain that joke, I'm going to be very upset. My point was, what people ought to be watching, the movies they ought to be seeing. My son and I absolutely loved the American Carol, the Christmas Carol retelling with the Iraq War. It was a ton of fun. Great movie. But it only did so-so at the box office for a lot of different reasons. But we were talking afterwards. Man, more people ought to see that. And in the ideal world or in the world of my judgment, you're absolutely right. But the fact is, the world is where it is. And if conservatives aren't, I know this doesn't mean that conservatives have to be whatever, dirty, have no obey your principles. Not at all. Moral principles, not at all. You can be clever and funny and engaging. A perfect example from my family, because I have a 6-year-old, is VeggieTales. The VeggieTales series is hilarious. I love watching the VeggieTales. It's like VeggieTales today is what Bugs Bunny was, a generation or 2 ago. And I turn my lefty, loony, atheist friends onto it all the time. And they love the content. They don't even get it. They don't even get the moral principles underneath. My point is, the guys who do VeggieTales could have said, we're going to make a series of claymation features featuring, the Bible characters, and they could have done Davy and Goliath, and then they, hello, Davy, And it would have been a big hit in, my family, my church where I grew up, and no one else would have seen it. Is your website for the converted? If your website, if your content is for the converted, then not only are you going to lose elections, etc., but we as a movement are going to lose. Because we got the converted. It has to be about the voters, the readers, the web browsers, the users, whoever it is you're talking about, who are in play. Not the ones that are already on the bench, but the ones that you can get on your team. And if you're just handing out your red jerseys to people who already got 3, 4 deep, you're wasting your time. When I do radio station events, it is absolutely vital to me that we have people show up who I've never met. Who, when I see, it's always nice. You walk in, there are 15 people with WTKK buttons on. But if that's how the station event ends, I lost. Because I didn't convert anybody. I didn't bring anybody. And right now, the left is happy to dominate the world of entertainment where most people get their information. They love the fact that Comedy Network is dominated by the left. And the vast majority of people 30 and under get more information from the Comedy Network than they do from network news. They love it. And if we just let them have it, we just say, I'm sorry, that's it. If we say, no, Michael, when I tune in to talk radio, if you're not talking about House Resolution 173, I'm gone. What I got news? Leave now. Because if I'm talking about House Resolution 173, it may come up on occasion, and I love talking about it, but that's 3 hours a day, House Resolution 173, it's going to be me and 4 people in the unemployment line, looking for a job. That is not my plan for my life. And so I really urge you, as you think about what you do with your website, to how can you get people who would normally not find what you have to say or what you're covering, the content, how can you engage them? Just think about it. It may be something as easy as a joke of the day or to use Michelle McPhee, an outrage of the day. Maybe something as simple as having a welcoming page that divides people. So that if I'm just interested in the broad issue, maybe you're not ready to, you might say, hey, if you're not ready to even think about voting yet, but you are interested in what's going on with your water bill, click here. If you want to meet the person who has a solution, click here. And then you send by definition, I'm not really into you yet people, somewhere else. And all that content targets them, invites them, speaks at where they are to pull them in. But I will tell you, the killer, the new number out is the lowest Republican ID since Watergate. I think it's 23% people self-ID Republican. And they think, oh, it's George W. Bush. I don't think it's George W. Bush. Oh, it's Iraq War. Actually, look at the numbers in the Iraq War. They don't match up, particularly since it's more and more evident that, yes, we won. It's the media. Hollywood, TV, music dominate our conversation. And they're dominated by not us. We have almost no voice. And if that continues, we're just done. The fact is, whether you like it or not, This is the media generation. And whether you like it or not, the coin of the realm is celebrity. And that's where we are. Media, celebrity. Is why Al Franken, one of the dumbest, nastiest people I've ever met, a guy who literally almost took a punch at me on the air on his own radio show because he got a fact wrong and I caught him on it. He's a U.S. Senator for all intents and purposes now. How does that happen? It doesn't happen on planet Earth, planet rational, planet principle, planet constitution. It happens on planet media. It happens on planet celebrity. That's the planet we're on. If we're going to take it back, we have to understand that game. I am Michael Graham. Thank you so much for your time.